After winning the Premier League, other trophies have eluded us. Can we fill our trophy cabinet with any of the missing pieces in our final season? With a strong and full squad, we need to sell to make room for new additions. Sadly, we might struggle to improve on our squad, so despite having plenty of money for wages and transfers, it might be an anticlimactic window. However, an upgrade at centre-back is definitely required. Joško Gvardiol might just be the ticket. Using instalments, we bid £120 million. It's a little sly as they won't be here to suffer the financial backlash, but they never gave me the instalments for Alex Scott, which another 50 odd million on its way through soon anyway, so it sort of balances itself out. And pre-season got off to a flyer, just a 35-0, with Sesko scoring 10, beating Jayhuahua, who bagged 9. And here comes Spurs in for Matheus França for £50 million. He's good and I don't really want to sell him, but he's a backup option and also injury prone. I think it's time to let him go. And here come Real Madrid for Bella Kotchap. We negotiated up to £56 million, again a squad option. Hopefully we can use these funds to upgrade our defence. With £125 million in the bank, can we spend big on another defender? Dayot Upamecano, despite being 29, is a superstar. And with this now being a one-season shootout to win trophies, he might be worth a punt. Especially as he has a £74 million release clause. After agreeing terms, Upamecano came back wanting more money, probably pricing us out of a move. We agree £350,000 a week, which makes him the highest earner by over £100,000 a week. It's a gamble worth taking, I think. But it's not just us who are strengthening. Liverpool have splashed their cash on Hendrick, hoping to get their Premier League title back. And the season kicks off with the Community Shield. We want to win it, get our season off to a winning start. We got off to a terrific start with Ederson marauding out of his box, shanked his pass to Jayhuahua, who found Han, who found the empty net after 5 minutes. City then equalised after 20 minutes, and that's how it stayed until the 88th minute, when Benny Sesko got onto a cross and bundled it home. More silverware for the Saints. We got a season off to an absolute flyer, scoring for fun in games as we beat Borough 4-1, Leicester 8-1, scoring 5 against Leeds, Aston Villa and Man United. We even picked up good wins against Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund to show our intention in the Champions League as well. That meant we were top by 3 points after 8 games, and joint top scorer, Luka top rated player, Bellingham top assister, Southampton top dogs. And was September player of the month, and look at that, 6 goals in 4 games, an 8.4 average rating. What a monster. No wonder Real Madrid want him. He also got young player of the month with Jayhuahua and Coelho making up the top 3, a clean sweep. And manager of the month was, of course, Jurgen Klopp. We strolled into October and beat Everton 6-1. We were on absolute fire, and stepping up this season in true fashion is Evan Ferguson, scoring a hat-trick in the final quarter of an hour. The Under-21 Football of the Year went to Jayhuahua, who finished ahead of Han, the reversal of the previous year. There was back-to-back 2-0 wins, the first in the Champions League against Young Boys, with 2 glorious goals. The first, a majestic volley from Fabian Rieder. The second, a beautiful touching finish from Evan Ferguson. The next 2-0 was against West Ham, a brace from the ever-dependable Lorenzo Luca. Next up in the Carabao Cup, it was the Bellingham derby, as we had Jude and younger brother Job, who played for Liverpool. And it was first blood to the younger brother, as Job scored. Although, first blood might be stretching it a little, as we were already 3-0 up at this point. The match ended 4-2. Defensively, we started looking a bit shaky as we entered a run of 7 games without a clean sheet. We started strong, beating Brighton 3-1, a brace from their former man, Evan Ferguson. We followed this up with a disappointing 1-1 against Villarreal in the Champions League, before turning our attention back to the league and a 2-1 win against Newcastle. After 14 games, we're undefeated, 7 points clear, absolutely dominating the leading player charts, and the 2 draws have been against teams battling relegation, Forest and Sheffield United. And we'd already dispatched of Atletico, so what better way to show our true Champions League credentials than against Real Madrid? And we did just that, racing into a 2-0 lead with goals from Sesko and Ferguson. Madrid were not to be outdone, however, and they showed their quality, pulling it back to 2-2. As the game rolled on, we broke them down and ran out comfortable winners with goals from Ferguson, Sesko and Han. In the end, a 5-2 win. We then succumbed to our first league defeat of the season, a 93rd minute winner for Liverpool. However, we bounced back quickly with a 3-0 against Chelsea, Ferguson and Luca both scoring deft finishes. The easy run of games continued as we beat City 2-1, and the last season's bogey team, Arsenal, we beat them 3-0. We are free scoring and flying. We have a goal difference of 45 and actually scored 59. We're really rocking and rolling, and the 2-star men, Han and Jayhuahua, are both considered world class. And looking at how they've developed, understandably so. They're also being chased by Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, so we'll have a busy January trying to fight them off. And everything really is coming up Millhouse right now, as our youth intake preview is good. Am I dreaming? And the Carabao Cup run continues and our quest to win it. Sejano really flaunting himself to Bayern Munich as he scored a hat-trick in a 7-0 win. And Brentford beat Arsenal on penalties, so out of the 4 teams remaining, we have to consider ourselves overwhelming favourites. It's only the Carabao Cup, but it's a trophy we want, no, need, to complete the set. The tough run of games in the league did cause us to lose our lead at the top as we lost 2-1 to Spurs. This was a double kick in the balls. Firstly, an own goal from Maxime Decker, who was complaining about his game time, and old face Mateus França came back to bite us in the arse with a late winner. And it got worse as the 2 injuries for Murillo and Han were not innocuous short ones. Murillo out for a month and Han 6 weeks. Not a Merry Christmas for Southampton. We had the chance for revenge immediately against Spurs and we looked all set for it when Joško Gvardiol put us ahead late on. We couldn't hold on as Dejan Kulusevski equalised in the 90th bloody minute. We then lost 3-1 to United. That leaves us 3 points clear at the top still, but considering the recent running we've had, in the last 7 games we've played other teams in the top 7 who are all considerably clear inside the European places. A horrific run of games, and we've come out on top still, despite dropping quite a few points. We got back to winning ways with a solid 4-0 win against Villa. They had no shots on target, yet Meslier got a 7.5 rating. Work that one out. Bayern are now in for Sejana. We rejected and dealt with an unhappy Sejana by promising we'll win the Champions League. I mean, that is technically the goal this season, so why not say it? Plus, he's going to be a key player in pursuit of it, so he's kind of making a promise to himself. Then it's the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, and we faltered at home, losing 3-1 to Brentford. Oh god, we're going to bottle it, aren't we? Now Real Madrid are in for Han. We knew this was going to happen. We rejected it, and fortunately, he hasn't kicked up a fuss. Bayern are back for Sejana, £181 million. I mean, sure, we could negotiate up and get even more money, but at this stage of our story, not even worth it. The financial longevity is not currently our concern. And the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg, we went 1-0 down early and we had it all to do. We battled back in the second half, drew the tie level, 4-4 on aggregate, with goals from Sejana and a brace from Lorenzo Luca. That's how it stayed until the dreaded penalties. Ever reliable James Ward-Prowse and goal machine Lorenzo Luca both missed. And that was it. We're out. From one cup competition to another, and it was the FA Cup this time, and we won against Shrewsbury 5-1. We finished the Champions League group stage with a 2-0 win against Atalanta and a 2-2 draw against Lyon, who happened to sneak a 94th minute equaliser. We finished second in the league phase behind City, just ahead of Spurs and English top 3. That point for Lyon was enough to scrape them through to the next phase on goal difference, so that 94th minute equaliser was very important to them. A couple of notable teams not making it through though, Dortmund and Bayern Munich. And you want to go and win the Champions League, Sejana? Try and stay at a team that's in it. Turning our attention back to the Premier League, and we beat Everton 1-0, although not utterly convincing. Then we beat Wolves 2-1 with goals from Luca and Rios, and the weirdest own goal from Gvardiol. I think we're blaming Meslier for that one. We continued our march in the FA Cup, beating Sunderland 5-2 before we started a run of poor results. Firstly, a 2-1 defeat to Palace, and then a 2-2 draw against Middlesbrough, with them grabbing a 93rd minute equaliser. Fortunately, Liverpool dropped points too, so as it stands, we have a game in hand and are 2 points clear. Oh, it's going to be a lively end to the season. The poor form continued, however, as this time it was a 5-2 defeat to Arsenal and a hat-trick for our former comrade Marcos Leonardo. Rick. Then against City, the poor form looked set to continue with Erling Haaland putting them ahead. Evan Ferguson drew us level from the spot, then with quarter of an hour to go, City failed to properly clear. It dropped to Sejana, who slotted through to Han, who rifled into the top corner. 2-1 to Southampton. We were ahead for all of 60 seconds before Erling bloody Haaland equalised. It wasn't over though, as it was our turn for the late drama, Fabian Rieder grabbing the 88th minute winner. More great form in the FA Cup of sorts, beating Norwich 5-1, but don't get it twisted, it was 1-1 at full time. That 5-1 was after extra time. That's half hour of game time I could do without. Back-to-back 5-1 wins, as we beat Porto 5-1 in the first leg of the Champions League round of 16. Follow this up with a 3-1 against Chelsea. Sejana opened scoring on 6 minutes, Evan Ferguson making it 2 with a beautifully timed run and finish, and Antonio Silva of all people popped up with a goal, but not from a header as you might expect. Oh no, this beautiful curling effort sealed the 3 points. We lost 1-0 to Porto in the return leg as we rested a lot of key players. We're through though, winning 5-2 on aggregate. We were lucky to be able to rest a lot of players, as up next it was Liverpool, and we took the lead early on as Liverpool faffed about with it at the back. We intercepted and Evan Ferguson rivalled it into the top corner. Pedri then equalised with a lovely dinked finish before Liverpool once again tried to play out of defence and got caught. Same result as Evan Ferguson put us back ahead, Benny Sesko completing the scoring late on, and we won 3-1. A huge win in the pursuit of our second league title, as we're now 5 points clear with 8 games to play. And our youth intake was average, which is as good as it's been, so we'll take that as a win. Back-to-back games against Liverpool, this time in the FA Cup, and we were behind inside 40 seconds. We picked them back after 25 minutes through a Lorenzo Luca header. We ended up in extra time again in the FA Cup, this time with it not going our way. Liverpool snatching the winner and progressing. Bitterly disappointing to get knocked out of yet another competition. And it was one cup competition disappointment that bled straight into another, the Champions League. This time a 0-0 draw against Inter in the first leg, and then we lost 1-0 in the second leg. That's all cup competitions we're out of now, just the league to go and focus on then. And we looked determined to throw that one away too, as we lost 4-2 to West Ham in the following game. We bounced back by picking Brighton apart, a comfortable 3-0 win, and another brace for Evan Ferguson against his former club. That's twice he's done that this season. Liverpool then dropped points against Leeds. We're 4 points clear with 5 games left. Surely we've got this. Maybe not, as we drop points instantly against Newcastle, drawing 0-0. However, it appears no one wants to win this league title, as Liverpool failed to close the gap as they drew 0-0 against Middlesbrough. We look certain to bottle this league again after 2 minutes against Brentford as they took the lead. We managed to come back into it, making it 2-1, but the lead didn't last long as Brentford equalised. We caught a break though as Brentford went down to 10 men, and this was all we needed to take control of the game, running out 5-2 winners. Against Leicester, we came out fighting for this title, Hand scoring inside of a minute. Unfortunately, our defence seemed to have checked out, allowing Leicester in to equalise. It was level for all of 60 seconds as Hand stole in again and restored our lead. We kept on the front foot, and despite conceding twice more, we scored another 3, winning 5-3 in the end. It seems at this point we're just going to try and score more than the opposition. Bollocks to defending. In match week 37, we've got bottom of the table Sheffield United, whilst Liverpool are away at Spurs, who are 4th. If we win, we're champions, regardless of what Liverpool do. If Liverpool drop points at all, we're champions. We took the lead from a scrappy interchange with Evan Ferguson coming out the winner. He doubled his tally and our lead from a corner in the second half before Romeo Lavia scored a lovely free kick in stoppage time. And that's it. 3-0 winners and champions again. Before the final game of the season, Sergio Conceição says we're overrated. Ahead of the game against Leeds. That's fighting talk from someone languishing in the relegation zone, and with only the reigning defending undisputed champions of the Premier League to play, we shut Conceição up by beating Leeds 2-0 and relegating them in the process. Fuck off, Conceição. The board have given me 101 million to spend, although as stated, this is the final season and we ultimately failed to win further trophies. But overall, we consider this story a success. We've won the Conference League, we've won the Europa League, we've won back-to-back Premier League titles, all while building a squad that is on the cusp of European glory. Until the next story, I bid you adieu.